See if we have any questions in the audience. All right.
Hi, welcome to Arkansas. I was wondering what pin you're wearing tonight and why, and was also wondering if you have an Arkansas Razorback pin.
So, first of all, I don't have in fact, I was thinking, why don't I have one, as I was trying to figure out what to do today. The reason that I wore this one is I have come from Washington that is buried under snow and hasn't seen any sun in quite a long time, so I thought a sunny pin for a great occasion was the reason for it.
I might add, she does have a pig in her collection, but it is pink.
It is pink, yes.
We need to do something about that, Arkansans. So before she leaves, I'm sure someone will gift you
Actually,
with
the pink pig I bought in China when they had the Year of the Pig. So I do need a Razorback, then. Yeah.
I think we can arrange that, don't you, by way of applause? Okay, do we have another question? On this side.
Madam Secretary, on the continuum from persuasion to threats to force, over your 25 years at the pinnacle of U.S. foreign policy, what's worked and what hasn't?
Great question, and you'll be really sorry you asked it. Let me just say, I teach a course at Georgetown, and I say to my students that foreign policy is just trying to get some country to do what you want. That's all it is. And so what are the tools? So the course I teach is called the National Security Toolbox. And in fact, we begin to look at what the tools are. And the reason that I even came up with the course was I was in the Carter administration when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan. And we had an interagency meeting, and people were trying to figure out what to do to punish the Soviets for what they'd done, because we thought we couldn't kick them out of Afghanistan right away, but they needed to be punished. And it was this interagency meeting, and it was really dispiriting in many ways, because everybody kind of put something on the table, like take away their fishing rights, or have a grain embargo, or have a registration for the draft, or not allow our athletes to go to the Moscow Olympics. And it just made me realize that here we were, the most powerful country in the world, and trying to figure out which of these tools would work. So that was the genesis of the course. And so what I look at is bilateral diplomacy first. We did that yesterday, looking at our relationship with India. Then I do multilateral diplomacy, then the economic sticks and carrots, the carrots being trade and aid, and the sticks being embargoes and sanctions, and then threat of the use of force, law enforcement, and intelligence. That's it. And the question is, which ones really work and how they work. And I think that you have this tendency of moving from diplomacy to the use of force. And one of the reasons that sanctions are used as often as they are is that they're the middle option. They have some teeth, especially if they are multilateral, and they are a way to signal what needs to be done without using force. It is exactly, for instance, when you look at this toolbox, exactly, let's take Secretary Clinton's trip right now to the Middle East. She is following up and directing the kinds of things that President Obama had started out in terms of engaging the diplomatic track on Iran, and now trying to get multilateral support for sanctions that would really bite Iran. And the problem with sanctions, and this is the issue that came up when I was dealing with Iraq, is that they are very much of a blunt instrument and hurt the people. And so it's very hard to get the support. So we've begun to look at what we call targeted sanctions, and Secretary Clinton has been focusing now on getting targeted sanctions against the Iraqi Revolutionary Guard when she was talking about the importance of, or making clear that Iran has been kind of taken over by the military, looking at targeted sanctions. So I ultimately think that it's the combination of these various tools. The best tool is diplomacy, if you can make it work. There's no question. Because the unintended consequences of sanctions and the use of force are much harder to deal with. Various things in life that I never thought I would do would be to be a part of any decision to send people to war. And yet I was with President Clinton, and we had an example where force worked. We had tried diplomacy with the Serbs over Kosovo, it didn't work, and worked very hard on diplomacy. Finally, we used force, bombed, and Milosevic left office, and Kosovo's a free country. So it's that combination. But I think the thing that one should focus on as much as possible is diplomacy backed by the use of force. Bruce, I think, can identify with this. There was a time that General Shalikashvili, who was chairman of the Joint Chiefs, we were standing in front of the sit room, he in full uniform, me with one little pin on, and Bob Rubin came by and he said, aha, force and diplomacy. And Shali said, and which is which? It was that combination, I think.
Thank you. I think we have a question on this side of the room.
Over there.
Right here. Would you mind getting her the mic?
Yes.